The fashion industry is one of the most wasteful industries in the world. The average consumer throws away 70 pounds of clothing per year. Globally, textile waste that ends up in landfills is the equivalent of one garbage truck every second. But what if the world stopped producing new textiles and used only what's already been made to create new clothing? And what if we completely changed the way we view clothes? I asked Eric Ritter, the founder of two fast-growing upcycling labels.
There's so much stuff in the world, so much stuff everywhere. Everyone has stuff in their house, landfills, shops. Do you think we could eventually move to a model where most of fashion is being made from upcycled materials, which is what you do?
Somehow, living in Lebanon the past year made actually me, and I think a lot of people realize that we don't need that many things. Post almost nuclear explosion, you realize that you left everything at home and you just ran for your lives. So eventually you don't need that many things. And that's a reality that only a few people understand or learn. But when you do learn that as an individual, you'd be amazed at how light your whole experience of living becomes, you know?
Explain what your process is like. How do you design for your label?
What we do is really the whole other way around. So we start by going to the souk in Tripoli, where there's a lot of thrift stores. So if we see a lot of denim, we'll get a lot of denim. And if we see a lot of, t-shirts, then we'll get a lot of t-shirts. And so we get to the workshop. And that's where we just start wondering, all right, so we have these materials. So it's a bit like if you want cooking. So you get the ingredients first, and then you see, all right, with these ingredients or these materials, what can we do? And then we start building the collection, which is usually an answer to things we experience around us. So I like to always talk about triggers instead of inspiration, because I feel like for so long, designers and artists have been inspired, and inspiration is nice to me, but we can no longer afford to dream and to be inspired because things are happening right around us, right next to us, and these things are triggering us as human beings.
There's this statistic that 84% of clothes end up in landfills or trash. We don't throw away our jewelry and stuff. So why do you think that people are throwing away their clothes like this? Why is this such a huge problem?
And the problem is that in the past, let's say 20 years, I want to say, what we've witnessed is the rise of fast fashion. And if you just go 50 years back, people did not used to buy and consume clothes as much as they have been doing for the past 10 years. We do need to create new things. That is true. But when creating new things, we can make sure that these things are going to be biodegradable at the end of their life cycle, that these fast fashion companies that are international, basically, manage to transform clothes into consumables. So products exist as two types of products. So products that you consume, let's say like chewing gum or like cigarettes, and products that you are meant to last, like a washing machine or like a car. And up until not long ago, clothes were actually meant to be passed on from generation to generation. Obviously, upcycling is the best situation or the best thing to do, in my opinion, because the process of upcycling, in comparison to recycling, is that when you recycle, you're actually still using a lot of resources, whether it's water, energy, electricity, chemicals. So I decided to call the collection Neverland, both because Neverland is this imaginary country, this utopia that we all have as a child, but also because it's also Neverland. So it will never be a land. It will never be this land that we are promised. And at the same time, it's somehow a message to all of my generation to realize that it is what it is what we have, and it is our job to kind of make sure that we fix it. As hard as it is, as complicated as it might seem, it is sad that we have to be forced, as Lebanese people, we have to be forced to find solutions. Yet at the same time, I feel like the whole world could learn from the solutions we are developing out of our struggle, if you want. Because the problems that we are facing will soon enough catch up with them, and they will have to face the same. So somehow we're very unlucky, but also we are pioneers in developing solutions that the others don't have to develop.